Hey guys, in this video I will show you how to create a login page and how to use it to force your users to authenticate before they can start using your application or a part of your application. I will show you how to do this, how to set this up easily within NoCode-X, and I will show you how you can customize it exactly to your needs. So as you can see, I already have an application opened up which we are building right now in NoCode-X. This application has already several pages which users can use, but it does not require authentication at this point in time, and we want to change that. So let's dive in and do that. I open up the NoCode-X back office, which is where we actually built the application, and as you can see here, this is the home page, in fact. So I can just go ahead and find this page within my templates. Can open this up, and now I can, as you can see, this is the page that I've just shown you in the live preview of the application. There is a button on the top in the template editor, which will allow you to configure some settings of authentication and authorization. So if I click this button, there is a slide toggle, which will actually allow me to switch on authentication. Now, this is, of course, this is switched on by default for every new template. So if this is switched off, at some point in time, you have switched this off. But you can switch this off and on as many times as you would like, of course. So what this actually means is the next time I'm visiting home, I will be requested to authenticate. Now, of course, this application has more than one page. And for example, I have a calendar page, which we are also building. And of course, authentication is not switched on for this page. Now, I could go through all the pages of this application and switch it on, and then it would work. And then it would be required to authenticate to use every single page of my application, but that's a bit cumbersome. Luckily, I have built my application in the right way, and I've used template hierarchy. And I explained template hierarchy in another video, which I will put the link from in the description. But in a nutshell, if I open up template hierarchy for this application, I can see the My Calendar page, and in fact every other page in the application is actually a child or a descendant of the root template. And what template hierarchy actually does is it makes sure that configurations and settings for a certain page, for a parent template, is actually propagated downwards to its children and descendants. So let's just open the root template, and then once I open up the authentication and authorization settings and I switch on authentication, also the calendar page should be requesting authentication before accessing it. So as you can see, I accessed the calendar page, and now I'm required to authenticate as well. As you can see here, this is the default login page. Let's just try this out first, and let's then try to configure it or try to customize it according to our needs. So first of all, to try out a login page, I of course need a user. So let's create one. Let's go to users, which actually has two tabs. First of all, developers, which are actually the people that are creating your application. And the second tab is the users, which are actually the people that use your application. And users are strictly split up between the several environments in which your application can live. This application only lives in development for the moment because it's not production ready. So let's just look at the users of development. Of course, I have no users in development, but let's start and create a user. Let me just grab here a new email address, a new temporary email address. So a little bit, voila. Let me just grab it and let me create a new user for that email address. I can say, because I'm creating this user myself, I can here say that this email address has already been verified. So what this actually means is once the user is authenticated, he does not have to verify its email address. We trust it that it's okay. But I'll leave this off at the moment, and I can choose, I can also switch this on, which actually says that to trigger email verification immediately after creation of this user. The default way of doing it within NoCodeX is that once the user has authenticated for the first time, then an email will be sent out with a verification mail to verify the email address. Voila, I'll leave that off as well. Let me just create a password for this user. You can also switch on temporary password. What that actually means is that this user, this password is only temporary. So the first time this user logs on, he or she will be required to change the password. I can also switch on multi-factor authentication by using one-time passwords. So if I switch this on, the user will be required to set up an authenticator application and use this to authenticate to the application. And I can also, of course, also force WebAuthn. And what WebAuthn actually does is it requires the user to set up multi-factor authentication, but then with other means than an authenticator app. For example, the user can use biometrics such as fingerprint, such as a face scan. You can use your Windows Hello. You can even use your browser or an USB token to help you authenticate to this application. So I can also switch this on, and then users will be required to set this up. But let's just leave it off for now. I can create I can choose a first name and a last name, and then of course I have to choose for which environment I create this user. So if I save this user, then the user will be created, and I will now be able to authenticate by using this email address and password. So let's go ahead and fill this in. If I sign in, then I have the message, okay, remember I chosen a temporary password, so I have to change my password the first time I have authenticated. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's choose a new password, and then if I hit submit, then I get notified that I need to verify my email address. So once I hit this screen, I will normally receive an email in my email address or my inbox, which contains a confirm email address button. I can just click this, and then once I click this, I am in the application, and the application is being opened for me, so I can start using it. So now at this point in time, I am authenticated. I can use this button to log out, and then I am logged out. And this is really the logic behind this button is really easy. It's just an action that we've created where we just call logout, which is available in the vast amount of functions that you can use to build your applications within NoCodeX. So now that we have seen how the default login pages work for NoCodeX, let's try and configure, or let's try and adjust the login page according to our needs. So there's a really simple way of doing that within NoCodeX. It requires installation of a plugin, but let's go ahead to the hub, and let's choose the vanilla login plugin, which is actually a plugin that contains several templates and several pieces of logic, which helps you creating your login flow in NoCodeX. So let's install this. So I click the install button, and now the install is starting. And once this plugin has been installed, we will see it right here. It might take a while to install this plugin in our application. Voila, it's finished. So now I can go over to plugins and double check. Okay, the vanilla login page has been installed. So what this, as I said, what this actually does, it installs several templates in your application. As you can see here, I switched off the filter for to show me only the plugins or the templates that belong to the vanilla login page plugin. And as you can see, there are several plugins that I can use. For example, here the login page, in fact, which contains a completely customizable login page. So if I edit this template that's behind here, I can start customizing the buttons. I can start, for example, choose another color. I can change the radius of this button. I can do everything that I would want to do for customizing my application, of course. And of course, I can also change the logic behind this button, because this button at the moment fetches the answer of the email field, fetches the answer of the password field, and then calls the login function. Maybe I want to do something else. Maybe I want to do, maybe I want to give a message first, or want to check something first. It could be anything, but let's just keep it simple at the moment. Let's change some colors. Voila. So let's test this out. Let's go to my application again. Oh, this is still the default login page. Of course, the plugin does not force you to use it. It only installs itself in the application that you're building. So you can actually you can create your own version of the login plugin, change it and install it, and choose between different versions of this plugin if you want. But how do you activate this plugin at this moment? So that's really simple as well. You can go down to company, because login is actually on the company level. So this actually means that if all the settings with regards to login will be the same for every application within your company. So if you open up the company menu or the company settings page, you can see 3 different tabs here, and the one that we are interested in is authentication. And as you can see, I can choose some authentication pages. I can also add some identity providers, but that's something entirely different for another video. I can choose here authentication pages, but first I have to choose for which application that contains my authentication pages. So let me just use the mock application right here. And then I can start linking pages for example, the login page. So let's find the login page right here. I can start linking an application, a page to use as a redirect after the user has been logged in, but I won't do that. I can choose an OTP page, which contains actually a check for the one-time password. I can link an OTP config page, which actually contains the page that is required to set up the authenticator app. I can link a password page, which is all included in the login plugin. I can choose a verify email page. I can choose a login expired page, update password page, and so on and so on. For every single page that is required in your login process, there is a page in the login plugin. And then, of course, I can customize the templates that are being used to send out email verifications, passwords resets, stuff like that. I can do that. I will show that in another video, because that would take us a bit too far. So once this is being configured, you can just hit the save button. And now if I move over to my application, I will be using the login page that is inside of the application at the moment. So I can just use this with the user that I've created. Let me just log in at the moment. Voila, and now I'm in the application. And as you can see, if I log out again, this login page is being loaded, and it has error messages for everything. So everything that you really need to set up a quick login within your application is right there in the plugin. Yeah, and the beauty of this is that that this is completely customizable. So I've now changed a button's color and maybe the border, but of course you can add images, you can completely change the look and feel of these pages. You can even change the logic that is being used to authenticate it and to authenticate and the flow of authentication, or even provide self-registration to your users and stuff like that. So the plugin, the login plugin, really helps you to get started extremely fast, but it opens up a way of customizing your application or your logging functionality within your application to exactly what you need for your use case. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about NoCode-X, please keep watching these videos, or try NoCode-X out. It's available for free. So yeah, see you guys later.